Nine Inch Nails are a legendary industrial rock band that spawned from the 80s. They have put out a lot of great albums over the years. Jesus Christ, they have remained relevant for such a long time too. You gotta appreciate how impressive that is to stay relevant for so long and have such a unique sound with nearly every release that's been put out. And this new age of Nine Inch Nails releases has brought some pretty good results. I mean, I must say, the past couple of releases I've enjoyed quite a bit. Their EPs, particularly, I've got quite a lot of enjoyment out of. And Bad Witch, an album people had a bit of an issue with prior to the release because it was only 30 minutes, which I don't really have much of an issue with at all, to be honest, because I think 30 minutes is exactly the right amount of time this album needed. It's very compact, but also packs in a lot of very creative and interesting ideas. Jesus Christ, this album is filled with just so many oddities and unique little like twisted instrumentals and arrangements that I cannot describe or really come to explain, but they're just so different to what they've been doing on their past couple of releases. The change of pace is really cool, and I do like how some of these tracks actually have quite like a dark, sinister, menacing soundtrack vibe to them. I mean, definitely some instrumentals that use more outside instruments that typically may be featured on Nine Inch Nails' music give off that like haunting sort of creepy thriller vibe. Play the Goddamn Part especially has that feel to it, just a really just itchy and like eerie track that sort of like really gets into you, but it's not exactly like it's because it's so like ooh brooding and ooh, it's just got this really sharp sound to it and it really like pierces your ears. And it also reminds me a little bit of the band Little Women, their sort of really freaky jazz playing that gets played onto their albums. This track certainly reminds me of that. It's like farting jazz sounds, like it really just sounds like instruments being played wrong, but at the same time it still sounds really good. So it's not to knock the talent or anything here of the band at all. God Breaks Down the Door though is just this absolute up-tempo speed fest of a song. Like I'm really surprised that they pulled out these ideas, because usually, you know, Nine Inch Nails, we have Trent Reznor singing all over the tracks that they put out. But here, I like that they went in this direction because it's pulled out some really cool ideas. I must say that's the best way to describe this album. Like, it's just cool ideas from front to back. And it's just perfect that it's only half an hour long, because imagine if this had gone on for like an hour. I feel like a lot of these ideas would have got boring. It would have got tired by like 40 to 50 minutes, I can imagine, because I think it just needed to be this runtime. I think they picked the perfect amount of time to play all these ideas. Shit Mirror is just classic Nine Inch Nails, to be honest. Just a really industrial, rhythm-heavy track with just absolutely bursting beats to playing the whole way through, with Trent Reznor's vocals just in the background there, just wailing and sort of like gruffly coming through, but in a quite a lo-fi way. You know what you're going to get with tracks like this with Nine Inch Nails. They just do them perfectly and they've got them down to a T. And Over and Out is just this absolute dark closer of a track with Trent Reznor's voice just sort of like there echoing just in your mind, just sort of playing around in your head, and you just can't quite like catch what's going on with the instrumental as well playing, and he's just there, our time is running out. The way he sings that is so good as well. Like, Trent, man, you've got a voice. You have a voice. Like, I really wouldn't be surprised if this was like some sort of soundtrack to a film that was on its way out or had come out already. Like, if I'd have heard this and then found out after that it actually was for a soundtrack, I'd be like, yeah, that totally makes sense, because a lot of these tracks just feel like they're there to conjure up some kind of atmosphere for some kind of thriller film, but at the same time, even without that context and without it even being any part of the film, it still works so well. But yeah, overall, I think this is just a really solid release. I mean, I can't say I quite love it, but I think a lot of the ideas into play here are really good, and there's not much I can say that's bad about this album at all. Just that I think the replay value isn't going to be something that's particularly strong, and I don't know why. I don't know what it is that that's like making me think that I'm just not going to replay it as much. Perhaps I just haven't quite worked that out yet, but maybe as the year goes on, it'll get more plays and I'll be eating my words. But for now, I'm going to go 7.5. It's a really solid album. Nine Inch Nails are one of the most consistent bands around. I mean, like I said, the past few EPs were solid. Their album a few years back was good. Yeah, I mean, they're just a good band, man. Like, you know that. If you know this band, you already know. Let me know your thoughts on this album if you have heard it, and let me know what I should review next. If you like this review, subscribe, and yeah, have a good day. Yeah.